Welcome back to your latest industry recap. Today is a bit of a bumper episode on Air India and some news at Finnair. Why not begin with expansion efforts? Air India is preparing for the northern summer schedule of 2025 by confirming several exciting plans to improve the business, and as part of these announcements, the carrier will increase its flights across various markets worldwide to meet capacity during some of the busiest periods of the year. Air India is on a mission to turn around its fortunes, and announcements such as what I'm discussing today to meet demand are crucial for capturing market share, while also still trying to fend off competition from other companies around the world. Despite struggles in the supply chains to grow its network in the past, the following announcements are all part of growth. The United Kingdom is first on the focal points for the flag carrier, with Delhi to London Heathrow slated to see further flights per week using wide-body planes, and thanks to the additional flights, Air India will now offer 24 flights a week. The airline says it can add more in the future if it deems it needs to. To meet increasing demand away from Heathrow as well, there will be traffic increases into Birmingham and London Gatwick from other cities in India. Air India is also prioritising developing its network across broader Europe, using the popular city of Delhi as an origin point. Delhi through to Zurich will increase from 4 flights a week to 5. Meanwhile, Delhi to Vienna will also jump with 1 additional weekly flight from 3 to 4. Meanwhile, Far East Asia will also be subject to increases as Air India commits to growing service from Delhi to Seoul Incheon to 5 weekly flights, up from the 4. Lastly, in this region, the company is beefing up capacity quite substantially on service between Delhi and Hong Kong, with an A321 flight to be replaced with the 787 Dreamliner daily. Thanks to the airline adjusting the aircraft being deployed, hundreds of seats will be added between these two destinations during the year's busiest period to meet leisure and business demand. Air India's final focal point for its recent summer expansion and announcement involves Africa, where 1 additional weekly service will be offered between Delhi and Nairobi to make it 4 per week. On your screen now, feel free to pause your adjustments in schedule towards the United Kingdom. Next, you can pause for the rest of Europe. We have then Far East Asia, and lastly, Africa. Any thoughts on these announcements? Well, you can drop them down below in the comments. Over to Finnair, who have published their financial report for 2024 with updates on how the fleet is tracking. The Finland-based carrier says that at the end of the 2024 calendar year, it had 18 A350s from Airbus delivered, these occurring over a 9-year period, from 2015 to 2024. Based on the airline's existing commitment, 1 aircraft, the last unit, remains on order. However, the company has announced that this plane's delivery will be now delayed. Finnair is expecting the last aircraft to be delayed until the second half of 2026, and this is a revision from the previously anticipated arrival in Q2 2026. Delays have become standard for many airlines, ranging from narrow-body to single-aisle jets. However, Airbus's delayed deliveries may more often than not have attracted as much attention. Despite this, it doesn't mean that the European planemaker doesn't have its own supply chain struggles, with them still making it very well known alongside customers who have publicly come out and discussed their inability to acquire the planes they need on time. From issues in the acquisition of seats, to the production of aircraft, to other complications across supply chains, airlines such as Finnair are really feeling the effects of this. However, it could still be worse for the Finnish carrier, as it already has a strong and established fleet of the A350 aircraft, and in reality is only missing 1 unit, say it's not waiting still for its first to arrive and really can't advance with fleet renewal efforts. The reception from customers is not always positive, rather more leaning on the negative side. However, the variation of impact is something that will always flip-flop depending on each airline's set of circumstances. These A350s are configured with 278 and 321 seats respectively, with an average age of 6.8 years. Finnair says 7 active A350s are owned. This includes financed aircraft, with 11 leased. Their fleet at the end of the year is certainly transitioning towards more modern planes, but what is really interesting is there's a big focus this year on fleet renewal of the narrow-body aircraft, at least partially, as its Airbus planes that are present are seeing their average age significantly grow and are not necessarily aligning with the next generation options that are available available, which offer far more cost-saving advantages. Given what is still the early nature of discussions, specifics around this prospective deal were not formally outlined. Finnair states, though, that a new order will be necessary to continue its position as a leading carrier with cost competitiveness, trying to be agile. A bonus mention, I won't get too in-depth about this, but Air India has delayed its retrofit program for the Boeing 777 fleet. This was expected to commence in 2025. However, because of shortages in key seating products, it will not take place until early 2026. Again, this is at the earliest. Seat difficulties are not just impacting Air India. This is very much an industry-wide problem and has at worst prevented the delivery of certain planes on time for airlines in the production process. Any thoughts on today's recap? You know, the best place to leave them is down below in the comments. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Take care, be safe. I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.
And we'll fly.